Vibration shake the revolution. Bitty bye bye to all of my fears. You should never look back, don't get lost in the past. You gotta leave all that behind in the rear view. Now roll those windows down so they hear you. Let me hear you say, we gon' never lose the vibe now. Let me hear you say, yeah, we never gonna lose your ear. Let me free your mind. Gotta let go and set your mind free. Gotta stand up for what you believe in. When the time comes, you gon' see. Vibration shake the revolution. Bitty bye bye to all of my fears. You should never look back, don't get lost in the past. You gotta leave all that behind in the rear view. Now roll those windows down so they hear you. Let me hear you say, we gon' never lose the vibe now. Let me hear you say,
by the name of this sweater boy, I came with my gang and we spraying Berettas. Y'all aim for the legs and we aim for the neck off. You verse us ain't a good idea. I see you got your style at the hood IKEA. If you looking for the truth, you can look right here. Cause we the shit now, we ain't about to go nowhere. When it's beef, then my team on the y'all too busy worried about the name of this sweater boy, I came with my gang and we spraying Berettas. Y'all aim for the legs and we aim for the neck off. You verse us ain't a good idea. I see you got your style at the hood IKEA. If you looking for the truth, you can look right here. Cause we the shit now, we ain't about to go nowhere. When it's beef, then my team on the
yeah, I'm a motherfucking asshole. That's right. I'm a fucking asshole. And I'll be the first one of you to fucking admit it. I'm sorry. And the reason why is because not being an asshole has gotten me fucking run over for my entire goddamn life. So now, I'm a motherfucking asshole. So you gotta deal with asshole. Cause you made asshole, motherfuckers. I fucking hate this world. I do. I hate it. I hate it. I hate everyone in it. I hate you. I hate me. I hate mere existence. Why? Just look around you. Are you fucking that stupid? You are. Because you took the vaccine. You took the vaccine. Yeah. The lethal injection. You took the vaccine. You fucking pig. You fucking sheep. You got that wrong. We're not the same thing. We're not the same thing. Alright? You wake up. You wake up. You go up. I wake up. You're jealous of me. You're jealous of me, right? Because I get to wake up every day.
Completely all alone, I'm sitting in this room. I empty out the bags, brown liquid in the spoon. I have to do a lot, can no longer do a little. The water's been added, I place the cotton in the middle. I'm sucking every drop up into this plastic devices. I am tying on different way, completely all alone. I'm sitting in this room. I empty out the bags, brown liquid in the spoon. I have to do a lot, can no longer do a little. The water's been added, I place the cotton in the middle. I'm sucking every drop up into this plastic devices. I am
35 years old. It's a set of memorized behaviors, like a computer program, emotional reactions, unconscious beliefs and perceptions. So the first step to change is to become conscious of how you think, to notice how you act, to pay attention to how you feel. And the act of observing those states of mind and body separates you from that program. Now you're the consciousness observing that program. The act of mentally rehearsing something when you're truly present. So now your brain is no longer a record of the past. Now it's a map to the future. When you change your energy, you change your life. Okay, well, most people, number one, they get up in the morning and the first thing they do is they think about the problems in their life. And those problems are memories from the past. So the moment they think about the problems, they're thinking in the past, right? Every one of those problems has an emotion attached to them, so they start feeling unhappy or unworthy or whatever. And how you think and how you feel is your state of being. So most people's entire state of being is in the past when they start today. So if they're in the familiar past, they're going to live in a predictable future, right? So they get up and they check their cell phone, they check their text, their WhatsApp, their Facebook, they post something on Facebook, they tweet, they Twitter, they check the news, then they go to the bathroom, get a cup of coffee, take a shower, get dressed, check more emails, drive to work the same way, do the same thing. So they're in a program. They've actually lost their free will to the program. I've been mismanaging my attention and energy, and I got to get beyond my past. I got to get beyond these emotions. I got to make some big changes. I got to break the habit of being myself. You know, I got to stop being this person. Now, that sounds really good theoretically and philosophically, but change is such a hard thing, right? Because the moment you come back to your senses and you step back into your life and you see that person, or you go to that place, or you're with that experience, so many people are unconsciously reacting in their thoughts and feelings to everything in their environment. So now their environment is controlling how they think and feel. So they realize that in order to change,
you gotta change the environment.
They gotta be greater than their environment, greater than the conditions in the world, greater than the circumstance. Because the moment you start reacting emotionally, emotions are a record of the past. And if those emotions are driving your thoughts, you're thinking in the past. And if you can't think greater than how you feel, and you believe your thoughts have something to do with your destiny, you're creating more of your past, right? So it turns out that the repetition of thinking and feeling and feeling and thinking, these loops that people get caught in, condition their body to subconsciously become the mind of that emotion. Which means now their body, as their unconscious mind, is believing they're living in the same past experience 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year.
To who you were yesterday, not to who someone else is today. Because you need to have a hierarchy of improvement. You need to be aiming for something. And that means you're going to be lesser than people who've already attained along that dimension.
So say I see somebody in the room here, hypothetically, and I say, oh my gosh, I would love to, you know, have that kind of a life. I'd love to make that kind of money, right? And I compare myself to them, right? I'm saying, oh my gosh, what if one day I can be that person? What if one day I can have that life, right? How do I go from there to actually wanting to live it and become a reality versus not allowing envy and resentment pin me against them? Kind of like, you know, Cain wanted to be Abel, but he couldn't, so he goes and, you know, kills Abel. How do you manage that?
Well, the first thing I think you need to understand is that these people that you're comparing yourself to, you don't really know very well. You know, and what that means is that you see their shiny outside, but you don't see the reality of their life. You know, maybe you're in California, see someone speeding down the road in a convertible Porsche, and you think, oh man, what a lucky bastard. And the truth of the matter is that he's thinking about wrapping his expensive sports car around the next cement pillar that he comes close to. You know, you can't tell, and people have hard lives, and even people who are comparatively fortunate have hard lives. And so the ideal that you're observing that makes you jealous and resentful is in large part an illusion that's created by your own mind. You know, I can give you just one example. Is like I know a fair number of extremely wealthy people, and most of the people I happen to know are people who've made their money themselves. And I tell you, man, they have a burden of responsibility that would crush me, would crush the typical person. They're just work.
Hi.
And they have thousands of people depending on them, and you know, they have their money and they have their status, and that's not nothing. But don't be thinking that there isn't a price to be paid for that. You know, they don't see their families, they're often divorced, they don't see their children grow up, and they don't have time off. You have to be careful of what you're jealous of, because you don't really know what it is. And then the other thing that's kind of useful is to understand that you're different from everyone else. And this is especially true as you get older. When you're 17 or 16 or something like that, comparing yourself to other people makes a certain amount of sense, because 16 and 17-year-olds, they're kind of the same, you know, which is why when you go off to university, you can make friends so quickly. It's like, I'm just about 60. It takes me like 15 years to make a friend now, you know. as opposed to the 2 months that it took when I was 17. You're quite different from other people, and you shouldn't be comparing yourself to them because they're not like you. You know, they don't have your family. They don't have your temperament. They don't have your troubles. They don't have your abilities. The only person that has those is you. Even if things are going really well for you now, there's going to be a time in the future where things are rough. You know, you're going to be ill, family member's going to be ill, a dream is going to fall apart, you're going to be uncertain about your employment status. Like the flood is coming, right? The apocalypse is coming. It's always the case in life. So the question is, who should you defeat in the final analysis? And the answer is, you should defeat your former self. You should be constantly trying to do that. And you're the right control for yourself too, because you're the one who's had all your advantages and disadvantages. And so if you want to compete fairly with someone, then you should be competing with you. If you're improving yourself, then what you are doing is competing with your lesser self. And then you might also ask, well, what is that lesser self? And that lesser self would be resentful and bitter and aggressive and vengeance-seeking and all of those things that go along with having a negative moral character. And those are things that interfere with your ability to progress as you move forward through life. So it's very necessary to understand that this is why, you know, I've been stressing this idea of personal responsibility. It's like, well, personal responsibility is to compete with yourself, is to be slightly better than yourself the next day.
Yes.
And better in some way that you can actually manage. And that's humility. Like, well, I'm a flawed person, and I've got all my problems. Could I be as good as person X? It's like not the right question. The right question is, could you be slightly better tomorrow than your currently flawed self? And the answer to that is, if you have enough humility to set the bar properly low, then you could be better tomorrow than you are today.
Maybe I'm not strong enough to fast Ramadan. These are issues like that, addicted to drugs, right? But you know what? At least I believe in life.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Isn't it sad, brothers and sisters, that there are people that are living lavish lifestyles, buying luxury cars and private jets, and our media is the #1 source of the brainwashing of this country in mass numbers. It's no mistake that TVs were invented. It's no mistake that mobile devices were invented. These were not invented for our convenience or our comfort, which is what they want us to believe. They want us to believe that all of this stuff is supposed to comfort us. It's supposed to be entertainment. Really, what I am holding right now is more influential than an atomic nuclear bomb. The power of persuasion, the power of very, very extreme psychology, extreme measures of brainwashing that happen to everybody on a daily basis, but you wouldn't notice it. What this world is suffering from is a state of mass hypnosis from people like doctors, people who run pharmaceutical companies, people who are politicians, senators, presidents of the United States, people who are dictators in other lands, people who are presidents in other lands. This world is being run by a cataclysmic ideology which runs through the top 1% of people who live on this earth. And there is an active movement against you and me as people who are citizens of this country and any other country. I'm talking about worldwide. Now, some countries like China, they limit what people can watch on television. They limit what people can look for on the internet. They limit the games that they are allowed to play. They limit the companies that they are allowed to use and buy from. And just as much as that is for mass hypnosis, just as much as that is for mass brainwashing, just as much so that is for Chinese people cannot watch American news and know what is really going on. Not that American news tells you the whole truth of what is going on, but that the president of China knows that and thinks of it as propaganda. Just as he limits what people can see and hear and do with their free will, he brainwashes those people just as much as the United States government does by allowing us to look at pretty much what we want to on the internet. Allow us to watch 200 channels on TV. They allow us to watch these news stations which care nothing about the people that they're reporting against. Nothing. The media gets more excited when something traumatic happens than when something good happens. Why? It is all about mass psychology. Everything you see on the news is not true. I'm going to give you an example right now. The U.S. government back in 2009 or 2010, can't remember exactly when, they had secret covert operations in the Middle East, in Afghanistan, in Iraq, and what they were doing was they were essentially finding the oil fields in which they wanted to steal from them. So they sent covert people in. Isn't this funny? How this happens 2 years before 9/11. which gives our government and President Bush the go-ahead to go to these countries, which is exactly why he went there, to take oil fields. Now, this is the reason why Afghanistan and Iraq, their governments, and any Middle Eastern government is against America, okay? It's not because we have so-called freedom. It's not because of our democratic government. It's not because of our Christian society. It's not because of America or Americans and how ignorant and stupid they really are. It is about the fact that they don't give a fuck what we do in our country, which is the proper way to go about it. I have never seen, and there will never be a country like America that tries to stick their nose in everybody else's business where it does not belong. And, you know, people are gonna hate what I'm saying. And I am a Muslim, alhamdulillah, la ilaha illallah, there is no God but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is his chosen prophet and last prophet, seal of the prophets. I believe all that. And let me tell you this, Donald Trump was the best president we ever had. The best president that we ever had, okay? Now, if you disagree with me, okay, then down in the comment section, name me one other president that has sent $1,200 in a check straight to you. What other president? There isn't one. There isn't one. Donald Trump sent me personally, $1,200. And for me, that was a lifesaver. So thank you, Donald Trump. Rahim Allah. That's what you should say after his name. Rahim Allah. May Allah have mercy upon him. And I'm not saying Trump is a good guy. He is a crooked politician. But you know what? Everybody in politics is crooked. Joe Biden has to take so many amphetamines before even walking onto a stage because he can't stay the fuck awake, that by the time he gets up there, he starts talking and he'll start a sentence and the ending of the sentence has nothing to do with the beginning of the sentence. You know what he said to somebody? You know what he said to him? This is why I don't believe in the vaccine. Because I ain't getting no vax. I ain't wearing no mask. When he was being interviewed, the interviewer said, well, I got the vaccine. And you know what? These are word for word. I made sure that I copied this statement word for word from the president's mouth. Oh, you got the vaccine? Well, are you feeling okay? Are you sick? Or no, it works. Or what about the grandmother? Or the aunt?
the kids, or what if your child wants to know, you know, if there's a man on the moon or not? That was his exact fucking what he said. Like, what a moron! What the fuck are you talking about? He's so stoned, he can't even speak. And it's not only because he's fucking out of his mind on amphetamines. It's because they're all out of their mind on amphetamines. It's not that, okay? It's probably actually not amphetamines. It's probably modafinil. Just so you know, they're probably all taking modafinil. And if you know what modafinil is, excuse me, it's a stimulant, but it is much more performance enhancing with the mind, meaning that it makes you think a lot more clear and a lot, makes you focus a lot better and a lot cleaner than something like amphetamine would do. But anyway, same fucking thing, uppers, okay? Now, not only is he so high enough, they're also hiding that Joe Biden not only has a history of dementia in his family, and geriatric problems. And you can tell by looking at him, because I hate to bring him up because, you know, Rahimahullah, Ya Allah, please. Okay. YouTube obviously doesn't believe in freedom of speech if it doesn't coincide with their political ideology. Their ideology of teaching children that there are 100 different genders, which is fucking stupid. And actually, a kid got kicked out of school. Whoa! Kicked out of school because he told and he showed in a science book that there are only 2 genders. Nah! That kid should be president. These people need help. These transgender people need help. And Black Lives Matter is the worst. They're the most racist organization ever. You guys want to make a good, you know, impression on society, but yet riot. It doesn't make any fucking sense. So, here I am. Fuck you.
We saw the first gameplay. Thanks for that extended sequence. Looks incredible. Jeff, tell us a bit about that mission. Where is that set in the game? What are we seeing there?
Absolutely. So, first of all, we're really excited to welcome back Captain John Price and
That looks solid. Fuck yeah, dude.
Gaz Garrick. You know, they're not actually in what we just saw today, but they're returning members from 141. And then the other two characters that you may recognize from the older franchise that we're reimagining are Simon Ghost Riley and, of course, Soap John McTavish. And then a couple other new characters in here that we're really excited that we got to create for
Appreciate
this
that,
game. First, Commander Philip Graves and Mexican Special Forces Colonel Alejandro. And Alejandro, I gotta say, it's a character we're really excited about. He's a guy who's super capable and a guy who's just as important as Task Force 141. But as far as the level's concerned, you know, I got to shout out to IW. You know, this was a tremendous collaboration across all of the different